Rightio team, so we are here with Arturo Sansom, who is the Moto Guzzi Product Marketing Manager for global market, right? So you're the big boss of product marketing?
Well, there is my boss.
No, you got a boss above you?
But of Moto Guzzi, I'm the one that oversees Moto Guzzi range.
Wow. So for the V100, which is obviously the bike we're here for, so what was your role in development for this? Can you sort of lead us as to why you're here and why we're speaking?
Well, in product marketing, we are those that define the vision, the strategy of the bikes. So we are those that come up with the concept, with the new concept of this, let's say, bike that define a new segment, if you want, in the motorcycle world.
So you're responsible sort of for finding that new segment as to where Moto Guzzi products can go next.
In product marketing, we are responsible for let's say product strategy, like the positioning, understanding who is the target customers, who are the competitors, and where we want to go. So,
Brilliant. So leading from that, competitors for this beautiful bike here, the V100 Mandello, there doesn't seem to be many these days.
well, the reality is that there are no competitors.
Yeah.
In the concept phase, we identified a white space market. So essentially, there are these two big words, roadster and touring. So roadster bikes are agile, fun, dynamic,
Yes.
but they lack of touring capability, comfort, not always you can carry panniers. Then there are tourers that tends to be, of course, they're good for long distances, big fuel tank.
Yeah.
But
Not quite as fun to ride.
Not quite as fun to ride, exactly. So we came up with the idea of a bike that combines these two worlds, so combining fun and touring capability.
It looks beautiful, man. So there's obviously a lot going into the design of this. One of the really standout features I've seen from what I've read is the aerodynamic flaps.
Yeah.
Who had the brilliant idea for that? Because that is not on any other motorcycle. And can you sort of briefly tell me how it works? Because it looks like something that Iron Man would have on his suit. So.
Well, I mean, of course, with this bike, this one was the bike of the century of Moto Guzzi. So it was like a white sheet of paper, and the people can come up with ideas, suggestions, etc. So we wanted to create something modern and innovative, and that's what we did. And this, let's say, this bike is the only one in the world with adaptive aerodynamic.
Yeah.
But the cool stuff is that the deflectors, the flaps, are linked to the riding modes, which is quite innovative.
Cool. So they're not there for performance in terms of slowing you down and braking. They're there more for comfort, are they?
Yeah, they improve the wind protection. As I said, we wanted to have like a fun bike, suitable also to cover long distances.
Yeah.
And when you think about touring capability, there are many parameters like comfort, ergonomics, payload, etc. And of course, wind protection.
Yeah.
So taking inspiration from the history of Moto Guzzi, that was the first motorcycle manufacturer to have a wind tunnel in the 50s to test aerodynamics. So we come up with, okay, we need to do something to, let's say, improve the wind protection. And the cool things about the flaps is that essentially they're linked with the ready modes and also to the speed. So if you're interested, I can tell you a bit more how they work.
Yeah. Like, so do they come on when you go to, say, 100 kilometers an hour, or do they have a set speed where they pop up?
We have 4 ready modes, which are rain, touring, sport, and road. Essentially, on rain, they are always open. So if you select the ready mode rain, they're always open because also they improve like the protection in case of rain, of course. And then for touring, they open up at 70 kilometers per hour as a standard setting.
Okay.
So when you ride on touring mode, you are in a highway, 70 kilometers per hour, boom, the flaps open.
Oh, cool.
However, you can set the speed at which the flap opens also on all
So
the
you
other
can control it
modes.
yourself.
Yeah.
So what happens when you go below 70 kilometers an hour and you're touring around? Do they just drop down automatically below that speed, or do they stay up?
Below a certain speed, they turn down.
Oh, that sounds cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing that in action tomorrow.
I mean, in fact, it's one of the coolest things when you ride the bike, because you open the throttle and then at a certain point you see the flaps open and you
That's
feel like...
cool. What happens on sport mode?
On sport mode, they are not open.
So they stay down and you have the cleanest aerodynamics.
Function, let's say, it's improve like the wind protection. So on sport, they stay closed, but of course, you can set up your ready mode so you can open them up also on sport.
Ah, cool. So the idea is basically they reduce drag in sport mode by staying down. Is that sort of the idea?
Well, they're more for comfort and function than for the aerodynamic, let's say, for sport bikes.
That's super cool. So we've got this bike here. Is this an S model? Because the S model is slightly more special,
this
isn't
one
it?
is the S model. You recognize the S model because it stands out for the twin color scheme.
Ah, okay. And it's also got semi-active Öhlins suspension.
Yes, S stands for sport, and of course, if you want to emphasize the sportiness of a bike,
got to have good suspension.
Needs to be all-in suspension.
What are the other differences between the S and the standard Mandello?
It has, of course, twin color scheme, semi-active suspension, tire pressure monitoring system.
Oh, that's handy.
Heated grips, up and down quick shifter.
Oh, good. That sounds fun.
Yeah. So if you combine up and down quick shifter and all-in suspension, generally it brings you far. And plus, it has the Moto Guzzi Mia, which is the device that enables you to connect your phone to the instrument.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So you have that phone connectivity, so you can play your music or take phone calls, etc. Oh, that's brilliant. And are those all available as accessories for the base model? Can you sort of, apart from the suspension?
Of course, not the suspension. The suspension is the
very special and
special factor for the S.
Oh wow! So if you want, and you don't buy the S, but you want the quick shifter, you can.
You can have the quick shifter. You can have TPMS. You can have the Moto Guzzi Mia heated grips.
That's brilliant. Right, I had a couple of other questions. So, brand new engine, water cooling for the very first time, and so that's like one of the very special bits of this motorcycle, isn't it? Well, so many changes that I wouldn't be able to go through them on my phone because it's just
there are a lot.
Yeah, it's one of the there's two standouts obviously. So there's water cooling, and there is the rotated cylinder heads, which they come out to the sides instead of going at the front, which they traditionally do. What was the main idea for rotating the cylinder heads? Like, doesn't it bring other challenges? I know it says in the press release that we were sent that it helps in certain ways, but did having this exhaust coming out to the sides produce any challenges?
Okay, well, the first reason was improving the legroom.
Yeah.
Legroom for the driver, because again, comfort was one of the, let's say, key target for this bike. Then, having moved also the manifold on the side, essentially you move away the heat from the rider, so they improve also, the rideability. Plus, this solution enabled also to rationalize the intake and the injector components.
Oh, okay. So they come straight in from the airbox.
So you have straight ducts from the throttle bodies that essentially optimize the mix of air and fuel in the combustion chamber with better performance.
Oh, cool. And does that give any impact on fuel economy and stuff like that?
Yeah, it also, of course, improve fuel consumption.
Wow. This thing's cool, man.
And additionally, the engine compared to other Moto Guzzi is tilted by 5 degrees.
Also, it leans forward?
It's tilted by 5 degrees, and also this one was to improve legroom and rideability. Plus, the very key thing of this engine is that it's extremely compact.
Yes, so it's how much smaller than the engine from the V85?
It's 103 millimeters shorter than the small block of the V85.
So shorter as in lengthwise or height-wise?
No, it's
compact that way.
It's compact.
Wow.
It's compact. The alternator was moved from the front to the inside the V. It's compact, and this compactness benefits also the handling. Yeah. Because we have a long swing arm that is around 578 millimeters.
Wow.
So the swing arm is quite long, but thanks to the compact box, the full wheelbase of the bike is less than 1,500 millimeters, which means agility and dynamic
Very
power.
dynamic. One of the other things I noticed about the new engine was you switched the side with which the final drive comes out. So Moto Guzzi loves its final drive being a shaft drive.
It was mostly for functional reasons.
Okay.
Because rider tend to, let's say, go on the bike from the left side. Yeah. So having moved the silencer on the other side prevent the riders from hitting it and
so it makes it easier to mount the motorcycle, and it sort of
it's easier
weight
to mount the motorcycle. Plus, there was also the styling consideration. We prefer to have a clean wheel on this side. Like this is a single-sided swing arm, of course, with a nice looking wheel. But now there are the panniers, but otherwise it stands out.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen much about the accessories. Can we go over those really quick? So we've got some panniers here and a top box. What size are they? They look 20 litres a side?
No, 30 should be 30.
Oh, they're quite deep actually.
Over 30. Well, they can fit the full face helmet.
They look deceptively small, but they're huge.
They can fit the helmet. And the good thing is that they are integrated within the design of the bike.
Yeah.
So the bike come with that system to integrate the panniers.
Wow. So you basically, if you're a touring-minded rider, you want the V100 and you want the luggage, you don't have to buy racks or anything like
exactly.
that just buy bags and click in.
That was the concept. Yeah, exactly. We make convenient for the rider. You don't have to buy the rails, which generally are an extra cost. You can just fit the bike in the system, which is a standard.
Nice. I'm assuming also there's a benefit to not having racks with less weight, more performance, keeps the fun aspect. Have these been aerodynamically tested like the rest of the bike to sort of fit in well, or is that less of a consideration?
Well,
with
no. For sure, when the bike was designed, we also designed the accessories, so they are integrated in the style of the bike for sure. And,
it's very cool. So we've got panniers, a top box. Is this luggage rail here?
Is
an accessory as well?
No, okay. The standard bike comes with passenger grab handles, which are really convenient because, of course, we focus also on passenger comfort.
Okay.
However, this is the rack for the top box, which is accessory. And if you want, I can tell you.
Yeah,
briefly
please
all the
do.
accessories.
Everyone loves putting extra accessories on their bikes and making it their own.
So we have engine bars with fog lights that can be fitted on the engine bars.
Okay. And are they protection as well as that? Additional?
They're sold separately.
Yeah.
So the function the main function is to protect the engine. However, they also create the support for the fog lights.
That's clever. Wow.
It has a center stand. As I mentioned, there are all the electronic devices like quick shifter, Moto Guzzi Mia, electronic anti-theft.
Yeah.
Plus, not sure if in your country you will need it, but this is the first Guzzi that comes with the full heating equipment.
Oh, yeah, it's really cold back home right now.
Okay, so it's perfect.
We'd love that.
Essentially, we have heated grips, which are quite standard, plus we have 3 heated seats.
Okay.
So it's the first one to introduce heated seats.
Oh, wow.
One is low comfort heated seat, the standard, and the tall comfort heated seat.
Oh, okay, brilliant. So is the heated seat just for the rider, or is it
just for the rider? Just for the rider.
Will there be one for the pillion one day, or is that not quite?
Not at the moment, but there is a comfort pillion seat as well.
Oh, brilliant! So, do we have any? Are these seats standard seats or accessory seats?
This is the standard seat, which is brown on the Verde 2121, green 2121. It has brown seat. The other have black seat.
Ah, cool.
The accessory seats are different, even because
different shapes and
they have extra 3D net for comfort. Plus, they have the layer for the heating.
Oh, brilliant! That looks like a really comfortable pillion seat. Like I think I'd even get my wife on that. Like, it looks very generous.
This is the standard pillion seat.
That's really cool for a standard seat set.
Yeah, again, we wanted the bike comfortable also for passenger.
So keeping in mind with those electronics that this bike has, is this marking a shift for the way Moto Guzzi thinks about electronics on its motorcycles? Mostly, I recently rode the V7 Special, which very traditional, very minimalistic electronics. This has a lot. Is this sort of something we can expect more bikes to have in the future?
I think it's just a different approach because some bikes, the other bikes of Moto Guzzi range basically focus more on the iconicity. They are iconic bikes with air-cooled engine. They emphasize the authenticity. And of course there is technology, but it's a hidden technology. Yeah. Like, for example, also the V85 has cruise control, traction control. The V7 has traction control.
Yeah, and it's all hidden in behind. You wouldn't know it's there.
Yeah, on this bike you use the term hidden technology. You tend to use it. But this bike wanted to be, let's say, a bike that represents the new chapter for Moto Guzzi. Completely new and modern bike, so it's the most technologically Guzzi ever built. Yeah. Like IMU, cornering ABS, cornering lights.
Oh, the lights are cornering as well.
Yes, a standard.
Brilliant. Yeah. So one of the things that popped out when I was reading the release was the elements sort of linking back to the Le Mans series.
Yes.
Was there any inclination to name this a Le Mans, or was it sort of, was it always going to be that 100?
Because the Le Mans is a totally different bike. Like, again, it's an iconic bike, the Le Mans, if you want. It has the rounded headlight. It's more iconic. With this one, we wanted to have something completely new, modern.
So make that distance, but also have a little bit of heritage.
Yeah, we wanted to make the distance, but we wanted it to be a Moto Guzzi.
Yeah.
So this was challenging. Essentially, we had to create something new without betraying Moto Guzzi's styling DNA.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that if you see this bike, even unbranded, you can say this is a Guzzi.
Yeah. Well, the transverse V twin, basically, that's... Yeah. Guys, you're the only ones that do it now, aren't you? Like no one.
No, we are the only one. Well, of course, that one is the dominant part of the bike, but also some details like the silhouette, the very sleek silhouette, the DRL, that is the Moto Guzzi signature pattern. The DRL
the eagle.
Yeah, the eagle, the stylized eagle. Plus, some details like there is a virtual cross from the fuel tank to the side panel. But yeah, of course, it's clearly Guzzi.
Oh, man. So the engine is, of course, brand new, and it's very forward-thinking. It's up to date with all the latest emissions regulations and such.
Yes, it's Euro 5 compliant, and it has also good level of emission and fuel consumption.
Yeah, so how long do you think this engine, like so long as they don't make emissions unobtainable, is this going to be around for a very long time? Is that the hope?
Well, I mean, we just developed a new engine platform, so we expect it to last and to be suitable also for more stringent emission standards.
Wow, and so that means, this is the question I don't expect you to answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Are we going to see this engine in more products in the future?
What I can say is that in the motorcycle industry, when you develop an engine platform, usually you think about more applications. Of course, I cannot disclose what kind of bikes we have in mind.
So we might get a new Le Mans, maybe, if I'm sort of reaching for the stars, maybe something like that?
Well, I cannot comment.
I had to ask anyway. Well, that's pretty much everything I had to ask today. So thank you so much for your time, Arturo. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Really nice to meet you. And I hope you will enjoy your ride tomorrow.
Yeah, will you be joining us on the ride tomorrow?
I want to enjoy you on the ride, actually, but I'm sure I will see you later.
Oh, brilliant.
I will capture your comments. I will do the reverse interview.
Oh, you do the... All right, deal. Thanks heaps, man.
Thank you. Cheers.